Namaste and very hearty welcome to all of you. This very special program on five aspects of sacred sex. First of all, let us create a little background of the subject. To introduce myself, let me tell you that I had been doing sex education, people counseling, intimacy education for more than 20 years now as a profession. And during my practice, what I have seen is lots of human beings on the planet Earth have got a lot of misunderstanding about this subject, and that's why there is so much of suffering of people all over the world, more so in the relationships. And that is the reason we need to discuss this subject in a proper manner, in a decent manner. Many people ask me what is our cultural strength as far as India is concerned. So let me tell you a little bit about the cultural aspect of India, the real, the genuine cultural aspect of India. Even 3000 years back in India, the Khajuraho temples existed. It may be anything between 3000 to 4000 years back, they were constructed. Historically, now it is proven that Kama Sutra was written somewhere around 3500 years. Do you know one of the popular sexologists, Dr. Prakash Kothari, who was writing lots of columns in Indian newspapers and all? He did his PhD. That was his PhD subject. So he was sharing in one of the meetings. So 3500 years back in India, Kama Sutra by Vatsyayan existed. The original text has got 700, approximately 700 sutras. It's more like Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita also has about 700 slokas. So our culture was very well developed, and the sacred sex was practiced in India by lots of communities which existed around Khajuraho temples and all over the country. Which means what? The aspect of sex was considered as a door to divine. What a wonderful culture. Do you see? We have the words like Kama Devata of Kama. In the chakra terminology, we have got Soma chakra, which is the Soma means moon. And who is the Lord there? Kameswara and Kameswari, they meet there. Kameswara, Kameswari. These are the words used in our scriptures, which means what? The divine aspect of sex was all along known to Indians. And very deep research and experiments have happened in Indian culture, and that proves the valid aspect of the sacred sex. That's what is the topic. We are not talking about the pornography. We are talking about the sacred aspect of sex. It's not a taboo subject. It's a spiritual subject. And we need more and more people who are mature enough to understand this thing. It is why we have started a new counseling course in 4 levels. Level 1, you learn basic counseling skills. Level 2, you learn Premtao model of counseling, which is 9 levels of depth. It's a solution providing counseling model. You get certificate at the end of level 2. That is general counseling. Level 3 is sex education for parents. And level 4 is intimacy education and couple counseling. At the end of level 4, you get the second certificate, which is for intimacy education and couple counseling. One of my purpose is to create lots of couple counselors, intimacy educators, because there is a lot of need all over the world. We need some mature people, spiritual people who understand the whole thing properly and who can communicate to our young generation in a right manner, because young generation is suffering in a big way. They are getting addicted to all sorts of nonsense. They are getting addicted to pornography, watching on the TV, watching on YouTube, on the mobile. All sorts of things are happening. So we need some mature people who have a lot of love in their heart, who are very compassionate human beings, who can understand the issues of younger generation and who can address this thing. That's why this counseling program is for those people who are mature, who are spiritual, who are compassionate, and or you want to grow into those dimensions. Okay, if you are not right now, as you learn, you will grow into this dimension. So coming back to today's subject, the 5 aspects of sacred sex. The very first aspect is love. There should be love between the two persons before they get physical. If that love is not there, then it's more of a business deal or a deal. It's not the sacred sex. Love is the most fundamental aspect of any relationships. Any two persons engaging in physical activity or sexual activity without love, it will not come into the sacred sex aspect. People who are having one night stand or they don't want to connect to the other person, they simply want to enjoy at the physical level. Well, that's not it. What we are talking about, the sacred sex aspect. The very first aspect is the love between the two persons. Anyone sharing the body with someone without the love in the relationship is less human, according to me. It's more of animalistic. I wonder how anybody can connect physically without love. But it's happening all over the world. And that's why our younger generation is at a very big risk. Many youngsters ask me this question, and I want to give you this answer so that all of you, the parents, can also answer your children about this. It's very important that we discuss the subject in a right way, prepare ourselves so that we are able to answer our children in a right manner. Okay, if your young child, teenage child asks, what's wrong? Where everybody relates physically. Let us discuss this. Why? What happens when two persons, male and female, have physical contacts? A lot of energy exchange happens between the two. The aura intermingles and the chakras, they get influence. So both the partners share their energy and some part of that energy stays with you. So if you are in love with a person and if you are having a sexual contacts, only that person's energy stays with you, which you like. Now, let's see what happened to the younger generation. When the younger generation people are relating to multiple partners without love in the relationship, every time they connect to somebody, some portion of that person's energy gets stuck to your aura. And when multiple energies are absorbed in the aura, that creates a lot of confusion in that person. It is energetic confusion. And I have helped lots of youngsters in this case. When they have a lot of energetic confusion because multiple energies are stuck in their aura from multiple sexual partners, it creates a lot of confusion. And they are not able to remember the things, and their intellect doesn't function properly. All sorts of psychological issues start with this. It's a serious issue. It's happening with lots of youngsters. It may be happening with your children. You may not be aware of it. Please take them into confidence and ask if such things is happening. Lots of teenagers today are suffering with these issues. So it's a serious issue. In one of my program, which is titled as Soulmate program is available on LMS. I have talked about soul fragmentation. When people have multiple partners, soul fragmentation happens. A part of your soul is taken away by your sexual mate, and you feel incomplete. When you have multiple partners like that, your soul feels fragmented. You feel very, very incomplete because part of your soul fragment has been taken away by your boyfriend or girlfriend. And when it happens in a multiple manner, it becomes a very serious issue. Person start developing psychological issues, energetic issues. Person feels very uncomfortable. And any new relationships, they cannot be successful because they are carrying the old energy from multiple partners. So when such people they get married, they have lots of issues in the marriage because they are carrying the soul fragments of multiple partners of the past. So it's a very big energetic issue and that needs to be addressed too. When I started counseling in Bengaluru, somewhere around 15 years back, I used to regularly go twice a year to Bengaluru and lots of young crowd there. All IT people and call center executives and all, fat pay packets, no parents around, all the freedom, and they'll end up in troubles with multiple partners. So I developed this program for the young crowd of Bengaluru those days, about 15 years back, which is titled as Soulmate. And I developed a very special technique called how to handle the soul fragmentation. So there is a special meditation for that, and there is a special kriya for that. All that is mentioned and taught in a very proper manner in Soulmate program. Anyone who needs help, suggest that program to them. It deals in a very right manner. It creates the right understanding in the minds of younger generation how to deal with this issue. Otherwise, young people they get carried away. There is a lot of peer pressure. What other people are doing, they follow the same trend, and everybody is sailing in the same boat, with the wrong boat. So the right understanding needs to be created, and that's why we need a lot of mature people who can be the counselors to the younger generation on this subject. Only when you have love in your heart and the relationship mature over a period of time, if it naturally happens, there is nothing wrong in relating in a safer manner. As a sex educationist, I would like to add this. In the loving relationships, if you connect to a partner in a physical manner, but in a safer manner, there is nothing wrong. I'm not talking from the moral aspect of it. Many youngsters they get put off if you talk from that angle. And I'm not that kind of a person. As a sex counselor, my job is to remove the guilt from the minds of the people, especially the younger generation. And we don't need to talk from the moral aspect. We have to talk scientifically. We have to talk from the energetic aspect. We have to talk from the existential aspect. What exactly happens? Okay, and help them. without criticizing anything. Otherwise, they get put off. Okay. So it needs a lot of love, compassion, and maturity on the part of the counselor to explain these things and make them aware and improve their life. When love is there in the relationship, there is something called biology of the body. There is something called chemistry of the body. If the body chemistry meets and the biology takes over and the sexual connection happens in the loving relationship, well, if it happens in a safer manner, there is nothing wrong. Will the soul fragmentation happen? No. Soul fragmentation does not happen in a loving relationship with single partner. In fact, it's called mingling of the partners, which is something healthy. Soul fragmentation happens when a person connects to multiple partners without awareness. It's like a habitual thing, just for the release of the sexual tension which is there in the body. And that is what creates the trouble, the multiple energetic issues and the soul fragmentation and all that. So, love in the relationship is the first fundamental aspect of the sacred sex. Now, let me talk about the senior generation. See, when you got married, you fell in love, whether love marriage or arranged marriage, there are a lot of love in the relationships and you engage sexually. And it's a very strange life. Love happens and sometimes the love disappears. Now you are still a married couple. Now the love is no more there, but you are having the sex. Will you consider that as a sacred sex? My answer to that is no. Just because it is a socially convenient thing and it helps you to release your stress doesn't mean that is a sacred sex. The love is the most fundamental, whether married or unmarried. Only two loving person can have that aspect of sacred sex, not otherwise. So it is true for everybody. Does it mean that the legally married couple should not have sex? No, I'm not talking from the moral angle. I'm telling you, they are having, everybody is having, okay. It's like a little tension in your body which you want to release in a habitual manner. And there's no criticism of anything, but that will not come under sacred sex. That's what is my point. Okay. We are not talking about what is right, what is wrong, because the very this judgmental aspect is not a part of the counseling process. The counselor has to be most non-judgmental in his approach. So we are not here to judge anybody. The very judgmental aspect in itself is wrong. Okay. It has to be non-judgmental ways of looking at it. So I hope all of you understand this first aspect of love in the relationship that is necessary for the sacred sex. If you have any question, you can start punching in the chat box. I'll come to your questions also. Right now, the second aspect. The second aspect of sacred sex is intimacy. Intimacy education. I just posted one of the article I have written recently on various groups. It's there on intimacy education and couple counseling group also. Those who are seriously interested in subject, I will recommend that you join that group because all my articles on sex education are coming. Series of articles. Second article, yesterday only I just completed editing my main article on sacred sex, which is the subject today. Today we are talking only of five aspects, but there's a very detailed article I have written on this aspect of sacred sex, which I'll be posting on the WhatsApp group, Intimacy Education and Couple Counseling. So if you have not joined that group, please join that group. And those who need all the links and all, and you don't know which group and all, then we have one point contact on Telegram. Only one group we have on Telegram, that is On-Prem Sangha, where all the links to Zoom meetings and recordings and everything is available on one group only. So that is our one point contact. If you don't want to be into the multiple groups on WhatsApp, then I will recommend that you be in on one group on Telegram only, and you'll get all the details from there. So this second aspect of sacred sex is intimacy. See, there can be, when you say intimacy, okay, most of the youngsters will consider it as a physical intimacy. Nothing wrong. Well, physical intimacy is part of the intimacy. But if you see the original Hindi word, Gujarati word, Sanskrit word, is a word intimacy, the parallel word in our culture is Atmiyata. Atmiyata means connections of the Atman, the soul level. Which means what? In Indian culture, when we talk of intimacy, we consider the closeness of the souls, Atman, Atmiyata. How close you are to each other spiritually. That is the meaning of the word intimacy in our culture. But when we say intimacy, we are talking about physical intimacy, we are talking about mental, emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, and spiritual intimacy. Now, you see, many people who do not feel connected and have sex. Well, that's not the sacred sex. Connecting somebody physically without feeling connected is not a good idea. So, how do you connect mentally? How do you connect emotionally? Do you know any woman who doesn't feel emotional connection with a man will not enjoy the sex? For a woman, at least 90% of the women, emotional connection is a very important aspect of a physical connection. Otherwise, it becomes boring, routine, not enjoyable. It will not be very deep connection. So, emotional connection is wanted. Now, most of the people don't know about this aspect, and rarely somebody knows how do I connect, emotional connect with a person. So, I teach this Prem Kriya. It is part of our Urdu Retas Kriya, where I'll be teaching you how to connect emotionally to a person instantly. This one Kriya. It just takes 3 minutes. You do that, and immediately the emotional connect is there. Okay. And those who are interested in transcendence of sex, the Urdu Retas Kriya, I'm going to teach 3 or 4 different aspects of it. All is been taught in detail. Only one session we had so far. We are going to have 8 sessions every Sunday. So those who are interested in joining Urdu Retas, it has just started. You can see the video recordings of the first session and continue from next Sunday with the second session to 8 session. Lots of detailed thing I'm teaching. Those who are seriously interested in learning are welcome to join these programs and learn it systematically. So coming back to this sacred sex intimacy aspect, physical intimacy, mental intimacy, emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, where you communicate in a proper manner, and the spiritual intimacy, where you meditate together or you do synchronized breathing or you do Prem Kriya together. There are various different Kriyas which you can do that connects you at the soul level. Meditation connects you at the soul level. You can do eye to eye meditation sitting in front of your partner. That also creates the emotional connect and spiritual connect. That is true intimacy. So, two partners connecting without intimacy will not be considered as the sacred sex. Okay, so intimacy is the second aspect. The third aspect is the respect for each other or the reverence, which is missing in a very big way in younger generation. Okay, this aspect is not understood at all. Respecting the person. Okay. See, every male has a divine masculine aspect in him, and every female has a divine feminine aspect in her. What we call is a mother goddess, Ma. When a boy and a girl connect, when a male and a female connect, respecting the divinity of the other person is a very important aspect of the sacred sex. So, respecting the divine feminine in the woman that you connect to, or a woman connecting to the man, respecting to the divine masculine aspect, the Shiva aspect, is a very much important part of the sacred sex. Respect, reverence. What is the difference between the two words? Respect has to be there, but respect plus love becomes the reverence. It has that sacred connotation. So that respecting the divine feminine, divine masculine is a part of the sacred sex. If that respect is missing, probably that quality of the sex will suffer to that extent. The respect has to be there. In Tantra texts, there are a lot of rituals, where they practice all these things in the beginning. There are affirmations. Say, I respect the divine feminine in you. When you say so, that feeling of respect, the feeling of reverence comes. And that also helps you to connect emotionally as well as at soul level, which is spiritually. So that spiritual connect is very much necessary, and that is the part of the sacred sex. So without the spiritual connect, it will be just a physical affair. Now we enter into the depth of the subject. So we have covered the three topics of sacred sex. First, the love in the relationship. Second, the intimacy aspect, physical intimacy. Before that, mental, emotional, and spiritual intimacy. Physical intimacy comes last. And respect, reverence for the person. Now, the fourth aspect comes from the Tantra sex. And this is a very important aspect, a lot of depth in this subject to understand for all of us. The sacred sex is performed always with the spine vertical. Both the partners' spine should be vertical. So if you see the DP of our group, Intimacy Education Couple Counseling, I have posted that posture for spine vertical. Tantra sex posture is there in the DP, you can see. Let me tell you the secret behind this. What is the difference between the human beings and the animals? All the animals have the spine horizontal. See, when the cow is walking on the four legs, the spine of the cow is horizontal to the earth. So the horse, camel, elephant, all the animals, dog, cat, all animals have their spine horizontal to the earth. And when all the animals they engage sexually, their spine remains horizontal to the earth. So when two human beings connect to each other in sexual manner, and if their spines are horizontal, it is more of a animalistic sense. Again, we are not criticizing animals. I'm telling you just as a matter of fact. When I say animalistic sex, well, there is nothing wrong. All human beings are animals in that sense. So it's not degradation of animals or human beings in any way. but that's what it is. An evolved human being walks with the spine vertical. Why? Because only when your spine is vertical that you can become aware spiritually. There is no way a animal can become aware spiritually. So animal will have to be reborn into the human body. That's a slow natural evolution there. Only in the human body it is possible to transcend sex. And that is only possible because of the स्पाइन वर्टिकल मेरुदंड सीधा होना चाहिए. Why it is necessary? Because sacred sex is not possible without that spiritual connect, and the spiritual connection is not possible without awareness, and the awareness is not possible without the spine vertical. See why your yogacharya repeatedly tells you sit straight, keep your spine vertical. I remember, in 8th standard, when I was in school in Mumbai, I had joined a yoga class, and our yoga teacher was so very strict. Merudan Sida Rakho. He'll be shouting personally. And that has gone deep into my mind, but I understood that such a young age, I got that training. Why to keep the spine vertical? Because that is the only way your awareness can grow. See, for example, if you are lying down, you are sleeping and you are meditating. Can you meditate while sleeping? Yes, you can. But you will fall asleep very fast. If you are sitting with the spine vertical and you meditate, you will not fall to sleep that easily and your awareness will grow. So, spine vertical and awareness has got direct connection. Now, sacred sex. Why the spine has to be vertical for both the partners? Because only when the spine is vertical and you engage sexually, you can stay aware. Otherwise, getting carried away in the moment, in the heat of the moment, is very common and very natural. But if you want to convert your sex into the sexual, not ordinary sex, okay? If you want to convert your sex not into ordinary sex, but a sacred sex, then the spine has to be vertical for both the partners. Only in that case you can have higher awareness in the sexual contact. You are not in a hurry. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to achieve. There is nowhere to go. Just you experience the presence of each other and stay there with full awareness. And that can lead to Kundalini awakening. That can lead to expanded awareness. That can lead to experience of energy circles. See, sometime back we talked about the soul fragmentation, energetic issues, and all that negative aspect of it. Here, exactly opposite. There's a positive aspect of energy circles where both partners get rejuvenated. Nobody is drained of energy. In fact, both feel highly rejuvenated, connected, and it adds to your health. You become very healthy with all this practice, and it's spiritually elevating. That is the original Indian culture that was practiced around Khajuraho temples in mid of the India, somewhere around Madhya Pradesh. There lots of communities were there. Similar communities we saw in Nepal also. There is similar temple somewhere around Hyderabad also. So it's not only localized to Madhya Pradesh. Well, such temples are there in the different parts of the world, but the major community, if you see, majority of these temples are around Madhya Pradesh area, middle of the India. So those cultures, those people, They actually experimented and saw that sex can be the door to divine. It can be a spiritual journey with your partner. Okay. And there is something called Sahyari Sadhana. Sahyari Sadhana means spiritual sadhana that you do with your partner. Okay. It is meant for householders, grahasthis, in a very systematic manner. Husband and wife both can grow spiritually through sacred sex. That's an amazing aspect of our culture. Very extraordinary, very deep, meaningful relationship between man and woman. And one is enough. Through one, if you can transcend, you don't need the another one. You are finished. That's it. Okay. So all these extramarital relationships and multiple sex partners and all these issues are just seeded out. Culturally, you see, this is what is real Indian culture, the culture of Khajuraho, the temple art. All that is talking about it. A very wonderful way to look at the whole thing. Okay, the last aspect, the fifth aspect of sacred sex is awareness. And awareness not only during the act, awareness throughout. How do you start? Where do you start? What do you do? What do you talk? Even the touch, the non sexual touch or the sexual touch. Everything has to be full of awareness. So, the real sacred sex is the act in awareness. So, awareness has to be there before you act. Only then the act can be in the awareness. So, throughout being aware, when you are aware, only then you will be able to follow these five aspects of sacred sex. Without awareness, it is not possible. That's why awareness is a very important aspect. All right. So we have completed the five aspects of sex. If you have any question, you can ask. Let me see the chat box. What exactly is soul fragmentation? Yes. There's a full chapter on soul fragmentation, and the remedy for that is soul meditation in uh, soulmate program. Let me tell you, now that you asked the question, when a boy is, say, relating to multiple girls in sexual relationships. So every time you connect, your aura and chakra, they connect, and energy is taken away. Part of your energy is stuck with your partner, and it happens either way. Which means what? Multiple people's energy is stuck in your body. And that multiple energies are contradictory, and that creates a lot of confusion in your body. Your mental balance will go away, memory power reduces, a lot of mental confusions will be there in the youngsters. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. And with such case, if they get married to someone, that marriage is bound to fail. Why? Because there are multiple soul fragments in their body, multiple energetic equations are there, and that really troubles a person in a big way. So the soul fragmentation has to be removed from the person. The body, the energy body has to become clean. Only after that, if that person gets married, the marriage will be successful. Otherwise, the marriage will be failure. See why suddenly the divorce rate has grown into younger people in such a high manner. Do you know? I will tell you the data. As a counselor, we have the data. See, in ancient India, the word divorce was simply not there. It's not. Divorce is the English word. Talak is the Arabic word. There is no word in our culture. Okay, it was not there. Concept itself was not there. If you're married, you're married for life. So, about 50 years back, the divorce rate in India was only 0.5%. 0.5%, the lowest in the world. Right now, latest data, if you see, it's about 25% in metro cities like Bangalore. Last time I had seen it was 22%. Okay. This was the data given by Bangalore Times. Similar data in Mumbai Times was about 16% to 18% in Mumbai. So 0.5% to 20% average. Why? Salt fragmentation is one of the major issues. Okay. And young people need to become aware that this is what is happening and there is a solution to that. So, without criticizing the younger people, we need to make them aware and we need to give them the solution that salt fragmentation is happening to you and that's why you may fail in the relationship. Better to take care of it and remove that energetic aspect of it. Okay. And let me tell you, this is quite a common thing. I have counseled thousands of youngsters all over the world. Salt fragmentation is happening without their knowledge. They don't even know. So, big issue there. I hope I've answered your question, Pratyush. Okay. Next question. If somebody is practicing sacred sex with partner without ejaculation, can it be considered as celibacy? Well, that let me go a little more deeper into the tantra sex aspect, Babani. In fact, there is a system that tells that one male need not ejaculate. Okay, so semen retention is very much the part of this because if the male ejaculates, then there is a drainage of the energy. But if male doesn't ejaculate, and women can have multiple orgasm, that's considered to be the ideal thing. Will it be considered as a celibacy? Yes, it will be considered as a celibacy because that is exactly the method even for what is known as a Vajrakaya. Vajrakaya means with this kind of celibacy practice, your body will become strong like a Vajra. And that is definitely the part of Tantra sex, celebrated in a very big way in Tantra texts. Semen retention is same as celibacy. So, answer to your question, Bhavani, is yes. All right. So, anybody who is interested in joining uh, Urdhva Retas Kriya program, which has already started last Sunday, recordings will be given to you. So, the first session, you see the recording. From the second session, you can join live. Anybody interested in, send me the message on WhatsApp, Telegram, email, whichever way you want to connect to me. And this particular talk was part of the intro for counseling program. So, as I told you, there are 4 levels of counseling. The first level, learning the basic counseling skills and the Karkap model of counseling. Second is my own invention, Premji model of counseling, which is a solution giving counseling. You will get the certificate at the end of level 2 counseling. Level 3 and level 4 are level 3 is for sex education for parents. It's a full-fledged program. You'll be trained in a proper manner to talk on the subject. And level 4 is intimacy education and couple counseling. My aim is to create lots of couple counselors. They are needed. You see, the younger generation is suffering. We need more and more people who can talk on the subject in a decent manner, in a compassionate manner. And there's a huge need world over. Okay. So those who are ready, please come and join this counseling program and help the humanity because this is one area which is neglected because many people feel uncomfortable to talk on this subject and there's nothing like that. It's part of life. Why one should feel uncomfortable? So I welcome all of you who are ready to be the counselor. Couple of questions have come. Let me look into that. Tushar is asking, what about crush haunting by one person on other person regarding soul fragmentation? Psychologically also, yes. If it's not just a physical relation, psychologically haunting can also happen. That also creates psychological issues. Okay. If it happened physically, Actually, there is a energy stuck in the physical body. And let me tell you, the aura reader, the clairvoyant can actually see these different types of energies which are stuck in the aura. You can actually do the Kirlian photography and see. This is a reality. It's a physical, it's a scientific fact. Okay. Yasmin is asking how to remove salt fragmentation. Yasmin, there's a very special technique which I can't teach you right now. It takes about a couple of hours. I have given this technique in my program in Solmet. At the end, you can go to LMS and refer to that. But there's a proper Kriya and proper meditation to remove the salt fragmentation. And I recommend that anybody, who had multiple relationships or even one relationship, break off and go for a second relationship. See, you need not carry the energy of the past relationship into the new relationship. It will spoil the new relationship. That is the big issue. So one should clean one's body properly. Prepare yourself for the second relationship and go clean into the second relationship. Good chances that marriage will survive. Otherwise, the breakup of marriage happening in a big way because of this multiple energetic issues and soul fragmentation. Okay, it's a serious issue. Let me tell you, for the parents, you may not be knowing, but this is happening everywhere in the world. Become aware of it and understand and how to solve the issues. Guide your children accordingly. Pratyush is asking, can soul fragmentation be called formation of false identities in Advaita Vedanta? No, no. Advaita Vedanta, that's a totally different thing. False identifications is there. Here we are saying that energy of the person is physically stuck to your body. It's not philosophy. It's a scientific fact, my dear friend. And that's why it's such a serious issue. Okay. Tushar is asking cleaning of body for all seven bodies. Yes, that is what the spiritual sadhana is all about. Okay. All the seven bodies need to be clean. Only when you are fresh that you can really enter a new relationship in a proper manner. Otherwise, if you are carrying these impressions of the old relationship and going into the new relationship, lots of issues will be there. See, let me tell you honestly, recently I'd been counseling few youngsters. One boy came to me at Tao in Thane, okay, for counseling. He already had related to 8 girls physically. 22-year-old boy already had 8 girlfriends and physical relationship, and he wanted to marry the girl. What will happen? Tell me. All that is possible to enjoy physically, he has enjoyed, and with multiple partners. So all those energy fragments are there with him, and that's already creating confusion in his body. And now he's going to get married to another girl. He is carrying all the jargon of the 8 girls which is there in the physical body, energetic body. So there will be a lot of confusion between the two partners. Okay. And the boy who has tried out everything, and suppose the girl is new, what will happen to the relationship? And let me tell you, this is something very common that is happening these days. We are not talking about some extraordinary cases. These are common cases that's happening everywhere. That's why we need to talk on this subject sincerely. And I invite lots of parents, counselors, because there's a huge need for this everywhere. Okay. Okay. Tushar is saying cleaning of body for all 7 bodies. Yes, that is the answer. Just out of interest, can we track who has taken away our soul energy like software virus? Mm, Tushar, there is a scientific fact, and there's a latest research I was reading yesterday. Suppose a boy ejaculates inside the body of the girl, inside the vagina of a girl, then the DNA travels in the body. So when we do the DNA test, it is possible to find out how many sexual relationships the girl had, because the ejaculation happens inside the girl's body. So this technology is definitely there. Tushar, this is a modern research, okay, DNA level research. But similar thing is not there for the boys. DNA research, because the ejaculation is one way, no, it's not the other way. So it is the girl who receives the energy. So the problem with the girl will be more. At DNA level, the complications will happen. Okay. So very serious issue. A lot of scientific research is getting done. A lot of medical research is going on. And reading aura, yes, Tushar, reading aura is the answer. Okay. I have actually seen. You see, when I do counseling, I see people's energy, I see the aura, and I see these multiple effects. Very much possible to see in the aura. Okay. But from aura, you cannot recognize who. For that, you need a DNA test. Okay. But aura will definitely tell you that there are multiple energies in the person's. Okay. I hope this subject is interesting. We can go on and on, but the time is up. So thank you very much for joining this session. God bless you all. Bye bye.